Christmas morning, my son unwrapped a single sock, while his cousin screamed with joy over their new iPhones. I watched him smile soft and unbothered as she folded the sock gently in his lap. My sister leaned across the room and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Well, that's all his mom can afford." The words hit harder than I expected, not because they weren't true. I work 2 jobs, and I'm barely keeping us afloat, but because she said it in front of him like he was invisible, like his feelings didn't matter. My heart cracked in Micah's as I watched his eyes flick toward me, searching for a reaction I didn't want him to see. I pulled him into my arms and held him tight, trying to shield him from the weight of her words. I whispered that I loved him, that he was the best gift I'd ever been given. He didn't say anything. He just nodded against my shoulder, calm and quiet, like he understood something the others never would. Then, without a word, he stood up and walked back to the tree. Everyone watched him confused. He reached behind the bottom row of boxes and pulled out an envelope with the word "Mom" written in blue marker. He turned to me, his voice steady, and said, "I saved up to give this to Mom. She deserves it more than anyone." No one could speak. I'd never been one to expect much from Christmas growing up. It was always a little chaotic at our house, my mom trying to stretch every dollar, my dad working late shifts to cover the extra hours. But somehow, there was still magic, even if tree leaned a little too far to the left, and the lights didn't match. We always made it feel special. I tried to carry that same spirit into my life with Micah. He's 10 now, and in those 10 years I've done everything I could to give him what he needs. I worked the early morning shift at his diner, where I pour coffee for half-asleep commuters, and try to smile like I'm not already thinking about the second job. After that, I clean offices downtown until about 9 at night. Most days, I get home after he's already brushed his teeth and tucked himself, and he leaves me sticky note drawings on the fridge, little superheroes' hearts. "I love you, Mom," and I carry them around like armor. Micah's always been different. He's thoughtful in ways that make you pause. He doesn't throw tantrums when I can't afford something. He doesn't complain when dinner is grilled cheese again. He doesn't ask for more than he knows I can give. He just accepts with this kind of quiet grace that both humbles and haunts him. We live in a small apartment with mismatched furniture and thrifted curtains, but to us it's home. On the wall above the couch, he helped me tape up all his school awards: perfect attendance, most improved reader, a handwritten best smile certificate from his third grade teacher. That wall means more to me than any Christmas tree packed with gifts ever could. Still, I wanted this year to feel a little brighter for him. I'd been putting away whatever coins I could in a glass jar we kept in the kitchen cabinet. Sometimes I'd add my tip money, sometimes just change from a grocery run. But the week before Christmas, the car battery died and wiped out everything we had saved. I stood in the parking lot of AutoZone with tears freezing on my cheeks, staring at the receipt like if they had stolen something sacred from me. So I went back to the beginning. I had $5 left after bills, so I walked into the dollar store and bought the brightest pair of socks I could find, red with little cartoon reindeer flying across them. I wrapped them in leftover birthday paper and tied it with yarn. Then I sat in the kitchen that night, holding that tiny package, wondering if it would be enough. Micah came in while I was staring at it. "You okay, Mom?" he asked. I smiled like I didn't ache just thinking. "You don't have to worry. Christmas doesn't have to big. You always make it special." That's the kind of kid Micah is. On Christmas morning, we got dressed in our best, him in a sweater 2 sizes too big me and a scarf I found on a clearance rack. We took the bus out to my sister Zara's house. She married well. Her husband runs a tech firm, and their home feels like something out of a catalog. White walls, floor-length windows, sleek furniture no one's allowed to touch. Every year, she invites the family over: our mom, our uncle Devin, cousins, neighbors. It's more of a show than a celebration, but I go because Micah deserves to be surrounded by people, even if they don't always understand him. As we stepped into her house that morning, the smell of cinnamon rolls and pine hit me like a memory I hadn't lived. Her tree was massive, glittering with perfectly arranged ornaments, and underneath it sat a mountain of gifts stacked so high they looked like a second tree. Micah's eyes lit up when he saw the decorations, but didn't run toward the presents like the other kids. He just stood next to me quietly, taking it all in. Zara greeted us with a stiff hug. "You made it," she said, her eyes flicking down to Micah's hand-knit hat. You look cozy. I smiled, choosing not to respond. The kids were already tearing into gifts. When we settled onto the couch, Micah sat beside him, holding the tiny wrapped socks like they were something precious. I watched as one of Zara's twins screamed with joy over the new iPhone she'd unwrapped, while the other danced around with brand new AirPods in his ears. They didn't even look at Micah. No one did except me, because I knew what was coming. I just didn't know how much it would change everything. Micah waited patiently, sitting cross-legged on the floor, while chaos erupted around him. Wrapping paper flew like confetti. Screams of excitement echoed off Zara's vaulted ceiling. Phones, tablets, designer speakers. Her kids tore through the mountain of gifts like they were racing each other, never pausing to even read the tags. Their names were printed in bold metallic ink. Mine, of course,